Hello, this is Dr. Patrick Porter, and welcome back to Brain-Based Wellness, the journal. And we have with us a special guest today, someone I've traveled quite extensively with over the years, but I wanted to bring you all the information because a lot of you think that it's just me on the BrainTap app, and we have a lot of other masters out there that have traveled the world, that have a lot of experience. And today we're going to bring you one of our content providers. His name is Terry Hodgkinson, who runs a wellness clinic in Toronto, Canada, but also is known as the Wandering Ninja. So if you've seen the Wandering Ninja on the app and in the new catalog, you're now going to get to hear from him about his life and what he's doing. So tell us a little bit about how you got involved with BrainTap and creating this series that people can listen to. I know you have several different series, so you can pick which one you want to talk to our group about today.
Great. Thanks very much, Patrick, for having me on today. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. And I've been using the BrainTap and models that came before the BrainTap probably for close to 20 years now. And of course, it started with the wellness center that I have, which was called Positive Changes back in the day. And we had light and sound machines that we would use with our clients for hypnotherapy. And that's how I got involved with it. And of course, many years later, now we have a much more sophisticated and advanced unit of technology, thanks to you, by the way, that I'm using currently with my clients, and also being able to offer to other people who are not my clients, because, you know, the BrainTap can go anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Well, tell us a little bit about these meditations like Panther Stillness or Eagle Vision, Transforming Water Meditation. Tell us about the inspiration behind these meditations and how the end user can begin to listen to those on the BrainTap and what they should hope to get from them.
Great. Yeah, thanks. You know, these meditations were born from my experience in martial arts and nature. And you know a little bit about me, Patrick, in regards to that. I travel all over. I've traveled a lot in this world, and you know, I've been really attracted to Taoism and Buddhism, and you know, places that sort of have that ambiance of these particular vibrations. And the Tao has always been something that has been very natural to me, and has also been very healing to me, especially as a teenager growing up. I always, you know, sort of found refuge in natural areas and environments like forests and mountains and rivers and oceans and, you know, things like this that are, you know, elements of nature. And so the meditations that I designed for the BrainTap are all, they all vibrate from this energy of the Tao. And so, you know, we were talking about Panther Stillness. It's about being still and observing, very much like, you know, a meditation where you still your thoughts so you can simply observe everything. And instead of being taken away by your thoughts, or what's called the monkey mind, you're able to see and not get involved in or attached to or invested in your thoughts, but basically just be aware of them so that they don't have control over you, and you have better you know, availability to your thoughts, and realizing that you control your thoughts, not the other way around. And so each meditation has a specific design to it to enhance a person from the inside out, their perspective, their perception, and their inner strength. And it all comes from my experience in nature.
I know your background is very extensively in martial arts and helping people make personal changes in their life, but you started a new venture a few years ago, and I've been fortunate enough to be on one of those trips where we went to China, and you took us around. And so tell us a little bit about what inspired that. I know that you've also wrote a book, so maybe you can kind of tie it into that book, because some of the people might want to read about your adventures.
Yeah, thanks. You know, these meditations are in my book. Of course, they're in text format, and I explain, you know, a lot about how the meditations came into being and what they're used for. But the book, Memoirs of a Wandering Ninja, Walking the Path of Enlightenment, has basically just been born out of my experience from a very young age, starting martial arts at 12 and getting very serious in martial arts at age 16, to the point where I practically lived in-house, like in a temple. And from 16 years old to 25, 26, I never really had a normal upbringing at that particular age, because I was living sort of as a monk and learning martial arts and the philosophy and everything. So these meditations in the book, and what I explain of them, are on the BrainTap, and you can simply listen to them and go for the journey on the, with the meditations through the audios. The new venture that I've started is called Tao Journeys, and these are retreats that I take people away from their normal everyday life, and I bring them to countries like the Wudang Mountains in China, which is renowned for its Taoist teachings and Tai Chi and Qigong. And then I take them also to India, to Rishikesh, right at the foothills of the Himalaya Mountains and the sacred Ganges River. And these environments are extremely conducive to personal growth and spirituality, and just simply getting outside of our everyday usual sort of ways of doing things and exploring a whole new way of thinking and a whole new way of being. So my passion around this, Patrick, is because I've traveled to these places many times and many other places as well. And, I simply got tired of experiencing all these wonderful things just by myself, because this is what I would do. I would go, I would, train Tai Chi or meditation or yoga or a number of different things. And I would feel so amazingly good. And then I'd look around and go, hey, I don't really know anybody from back home or anywhere else that is here with me. So I don't get to share that experience with anybody. And I started taking people on these trips with me, and they become lifelong friends. And of course, you're one of them too. And you've come with me to the Wudang Mountains in China, and we get to talk about those experiences, all the time when we're together.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the neat things I think was that we experienced it as if we're almost like locals, which is what I enjoyed. We were able to stay right there at the training center, or I guess you would call it a temple. I'm not sure what you'd call it.
Yeah.
And we got to see them train every day, and we were trained by some really efficient. We learned a couple of the different Tai Chi meditations, movement meditations that people do.
Yeah, the forms, yeah.
Yeah. So just kind of describe for me what somebody could expect from going to one of these retreats.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, the beautiful thing is that it's all taken care of from, A to Z. So the only thing you really have to do is show up. So I've designed these excursions, these retreats, these special journeys, so that right from the get-go, you're taken care of. And you don't have to worry about meals. You don't have to worry about lodging. It's all taken care of. And if we move inside the country from one place to another place, the transportation is taken care of as well. What happens is, my idea around these journeys, experiential journeys, is to simply give anybody who wants to explore something like this enough comfort that they don't feel overwhelmed by all the small little things, and yet enough of a challenge to explore different aspects of who they are, and what comes out of exploring Tai Chi and Qigong and meditation and tea ceremonies and all these wonderful things. Walking to the top of Wudang Mountain and seeing the view from the top, I mean, that's practically an enlightenment experience all on its own, when you're looking out and you're just amazed at what you're seeing. So everything on these trips is set and designed in a special way so that each individual on the trip gets something very special, very unique insights, satori's that happen that open them up to whole new ways of thinking. And when they come back, that stays with them. And it's something that you carry with you for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know I haven't been to India with you on one of your trips, but we just came from India, and you showed me some things that I've never seen before going there. So I know that it's great to have somebody there who's been there, done that knows the territory a little bit. So when you're in a foreign country, it's kind of a little bit different. But one thing I can tell the listeners that, some people, they always want to go on these meditation retreats and things. And I think when we went to Pune and we saw the meditation resort there that Osho has, I think that was very impressive, that they have a place where people just go to meditate. Not everyone can do that. But if you want to kind of mix a little bit of pleasure with meditation, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you, Terry, so they can start learning a little bit more about this?
Well, probably the best way is just through my website. It has all my contact information, all the details of the trips that I run, which currently are to China and India right now, be expanding in the years to come. But my website is Tao Journeys. So it's actually spelled TAO journeys.com. And that'll take you into my website. It'll have both trips, and it'll have detailed information of what's happening on those trips, and also all my contact information as well. And each time that somebody comes on these trips, even though I've been there many times, I'm always totally excited, because just to see people open up and explore and receive different experiences is absolutely totally worth it for me to be there. And like you said, with the meditation resort we had just come from in India, I've been there many times, but every time I go back, I get something different from it. And I've been lucky enough to be able to explore in this world over 100 different places just like that, where I've gone to meditate, or to study Zen archery or Qigong, or one of many different modalities of personal change and spirituality. So I'm very fortunate to be able to explore these different things, but also to offer them to different people who take my trips as well.
Well, I know for those people that are going to be at the BrainTap summer camp, you're going to be leading us in a few different Tai Chi exercises to wake up our body and our brain. So why don't you tell us a little bit about movement therapy and how that connects with the BrainTap, and how you see those two working together?
Well, movement therapy I think is very important, because you can be intellectual and you can be sitting there and going through the different ramifications and thoughts of what's taking place in your head. But when you actually get up and you start moving your body, and you start using your breath work with your body, and you start usually using your visualization exercises, and using what's called mental focus or mental intent, all of a sudden you have more of a complete package working for you. Not only is your mind being focused, but your body is being focused, and you're invoking energy within your body, which the ancient, sort of the Asian cultures called chi or ki, or kui. There's different names for it. In India, it's called prana. But what we call it here in the West, is more just like vital energy or life energy. And there's a way to enhance that. Well, a lot of people don't realize that you can enhance that energy, but it's not just sitting down all the time. You got to get your body up. You got to get your body in unison with your mind, your emotions, your spirit. And when you can do all of this, you evoke that energy, and then you can move it through your body. And it's amazing what can happen when you do this to your body. Not only are you going to look younger, but you're going to feel younger, and you're going to feel more refreshed. And I tell you, when you sit back down, if that's what you need to do for a lecture or to absorb some information, you're going to be able to do that with a far greater capacity than before you did the body movement, breath awareness exercises that I'm going to be able to do with people at the conference.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that a lot of the listeners out there are used to things like we do with Kevin Harrington, like think like a shark, and it's business and building and things. And this is more about personal evolution and really taking care of yourself. So I really encourage each of you to listen to one or two, or maybe the whole series of Terry's, which is called The Wandering Ninja, which if you do the search, if you just type in WN01 through 8, you'll get one of those series. But he has also another meditation course. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the intent behind, you have actually a training, because a lot of people don't know how to meditate. And you put together a training for the BrainTap that's available for them. So can you tell us a little bit about that course?
Yeah, it's called Meditation Basics for the Inner and Outer You. And, I basically came up with some very rudimentary meditations, very, very simple, because I wanted people to sort of get an idea where to start from if they've never meditated before. And it just takes you through some basic concepts of meditation and some different approaches. And I put that together, and I believe it's like 26 or 32 sessions or something. It's been a while now since I've done them. I'm creating more, but there'll be more advanced meditations now, and they'll also be in line with the movement therapies that I offer. So there's more to come. But the initial series, Meditation Basics, that I created a number of years ago, are great to start if you've never really experienced meditation before. Even if you have, it's a great review and great practice. it's something that, if you read the excerpt of the meditation, the synopsis of the meditation, and you find, hey, you know what, I could probably use that. I could probably work with that, because a lot of them are also working not just on the meditative sort of factors, but also the mental factors of what you need to strengthen within yourself. So definitely worth checking out that series too.
That's great. Well, as you think about our short conversation, because I know that I've been with you for days on end, and we can continue to talk about different things in this area, because I've been involved with martial arts, and of course you're the master, so it's nice to travel and have those conversations. But what do you think in this time we have that you can leave the listener with, that maybe you haven't already said, that something you want to leave them with that will help them to understand what they can get out of these connecting with you, either through the BrainTap and maybe taking a little bit further and getting on your mailing list? I know you have a great mailing program. You send out stories, and your newsletter is very informative.
Yeah. Well, just basically my life has been about experiencing different modalities of personal growth and spirituality. From a very young age, I kind of knew where I was headed with my life. And now it's really time to share that with people and to open up. And I have a number of different exercises from, a beginner's level to advanced level, and I'm always happy to share that with people. And I think to start with are the meditations, and the Wandering Ninja sort of Taoist meditations are really good places to begin. And then from there, we can look at if a person wants to go on a retreat or something, which I have a few coming up at the end of this year in November, December. But basically, if I could leave any individual that's listening to this right now with anything at all, I would just say that, your potential is greater than you could possibly believe. And we really do. In my own experience, I grew up in a very tough home when I was a kid. My father was a very abusive alcoholic, and, we never had any peace in the home. And that kind of made me move forward and learn and discover remedies, ways of thinking that could help me to deal with this. And as a teenager, I really thought I was a hopeless cause. I was told I was a hopeless cause from teachers in school and everything, but I turned that all around, and I started believing in myself simply because I expanded my mind. I expanded the way I was thinking. Instead of sort of continuing with my old thoughts, I was able to bring in new thoughts and expand my consciousness and expand my awareness. And I think everybody has that potential. Everybody has that ability. And I know a lot of people who listen to you and who are involved with the BrainTap already know this. But what I'm saying is that there are even, further expansions and, even greater experiences awaiting people. You just have to go out even beyond where you're comfortable right now.
Well, I appreciate it, Terry, and I'm sure that those that are going to be here at Super Conference are going to enjoy learning those techniques, and hopefully as we grow, we're going to be incorporating some video into our app. We can get you doing some of those exercises on our app, so that those people that have the subscription or are trying out the app can actually see some of those Tai Chi movements and just release the stress on a physical level, not just on a mental level. So I look forward to that. What do you think about?
Oh yeah, totally. Absolutely. I think that, everybody each day should do something. All too often we get stuck, being still, or, being sort of in a one position all day, or just doing the same, running through the same routine. Just to take a few minutes break and a couple of times a day and do some of the things that I teach people makes a huge difference in their lives. And I'm really looking forward to being a part of the app as it expands into video and other modalities that people can utilize. And I want to be there, and I want to offer what I know and what I've experienced from my own studies and traveling the world. So I just want to thank you very much, Patrick, because I've known you for a long time, and I know how hard you and your wife work at this. And, you are in many ways a mentor to me in regards to how hard you work and the things that you achieve because of your mental focus and your ability to do this. So thank you very much for that and for what you're doing for people. And I'm very proud to be a part of this whole BrainTap venture and vision that you've created.
Well, I appreciate it. And I know that we're going to be sharing some news with the BrainTap network because of what we both experienced in India. I thought it was very unusual. We were both joking that it was a little unusual that they were so accepting of a technology to help them to meditate, because I think everyone in the Western world here thinks everyone in India is born meditating. And they were very open to it. And I think that we'll be going back, helping them to understand technology, because they're becoming more technology based. From what we understand, they're becoming more westernized, and we're becoming more easternized. And I think that's as we blend as a world culture, we're going to take the best from both and make it
Exactly. Yeah, yin yang is always moving. We're always moving in cycles, and that just shows you that, you know, the countries are moving in cycles as well. And, you know, I'm really excited to be helping people in India, and the schools that we visited, and the children that we helped, and the adults. I'm really looking forward to being a part of that and offering what I know as well. And with the BrainTap, to being of assistance to, you know, a nation that is growing in leaps and bounds into technology, and, you know, of course, the stress levels and everything else. I mean, just the traffic alone, as you know, Patrick, is enough to create a nervous breakdown if you're not used to it. So I think everybody needs a BrainTap, and I think everybody can benefit from one in India, especially if you drive. Even if you don't drive, trying to cross the street, you know, you could definitely use a BrainTap session after you do that. So yeah, there is so much potential here to help people that I'm really looking forward to being part of that.
Okay. Well, thanks again for being our guest on the BrainTap Journal podcast. And we look forward to seeing you here at the summer camp. And then hopefully people listening will tune in, listen to your meditations, and learn more about themselves in the process. So thanks again. Look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me. And I'm looking forward to being there with you guys and doing what we're going to do. It's going to be great.